Hi everyone, Ahmet here, and in this video I will be giving you a roadmap on the 3 skills you need to learn to have a great career in UI UX design. I know as a beginner UI UX designer you have a lot of resources at hand, but you might not know which ones to pick or in which order should you learn them. Should you learn UI design first, UX design first, or should you just improve your communication skills? What kind of order should you follow to actually get better in your design career so that you maximize your chance of having a great career? And that is exactly what I'm going to show you in today's video. I will be giving you the clear roadmap that I wish I had when I first started. I will give you the resources, courses, books, videos on how to get at the suggested skill. Now, I believe there are 3 key skills that you have to learn as a UI UX designer to have a great career in this sector. The first one I would actually tell you to practice that a lot of beginning designers struggle is UI design. Now, I know a lot of UX designers who have jobs or careers that are watching this will give me a backlash and say UX is the way to go for the long term. And I agree, but in 2022, it is still important that you understand how to create good user interfaces, whether that is aesthetically pleasing or usable. You should also improve your craft and aesthetic taste. It is still very important and will give you an edge over other candidates who do not have these skills. The second skill is to actually master your design process, meaning when you are beginning a UI UX project, what kind of tools do you have at each stage to get the information you need? When should you do open-ended user interviews, or when should you do actually usability testing? Third skill you need is actually communication, and I believe this is the hardest to learn because it is the one where it is very hard to simulate, but I still have some tricks up my sleeve, so make sure you watch till the end of this video to learn how to master this skill. Now, for learning how to design better user interfaces, it is a much better idea to actually practice instead of just read and consume. So my first suggestion is for you to go to the 100-day UI design challenge and do it. For me, I did 30 days of it. I saw so much benefit, I wish I have continued, so you actually should go design 100 different interfaces. Just join the challenge, but I suggest and give you these 2 tips. The first is be as consistent as you can, meaning do it daily. The second is that what I would suggest is instead of designing from scratch, just make a library of great designers that have done this challenge and copy them, meaning do copy work. Don't build things from scratch. You doing copy work, and please, if you haven't watched my video on how to practice UX design, UI UX design, please watch the video above. Copy work is the way to go for you to master your UI design skills as fast as possible instead of just creating all the time. If you're a beginner UI designer, my first book recommendation is Non-Designer's Design Book. It will give you the most bang for your buck in terms of effort, and you will learn the fundamentals such as consistency and alignment very fast. It will take you to roughly and from not knowing anything to a beginner, upper beginner level very fast in probably less than 2 days if you read it on one sitting and do the exercises. Now, once you actually understood the principles in the Non-Designer's Design Book, it is time to move on to a heavier artillery, which is UI is communication. This book will basically teach you how to understand each user interface element and know where they should go and what they should do, meaning their roles and their jobs. It will still teach you how to communicate better and give you some. Now, if you are on a budget and you want to learn UI design by watching a course, Joe Natoli's course on Udemy is very good and it has been recommended to me by some senior designers. I haven't done it personally, but I heard from other designers it is very good. It will teach you the fundamentals of UI design, and I looked at the syllabus, it's pretty good. Now, if you want to spend your money and you have a bit of savings, what I would recommend is the course Learn UI Design by Eric Kennedy. Now, Eric Kennedy is a well-known designer. He's a very senior designer. He has worked with major brands such as Amazon and Rome Research. But the course is roughly a bit pricey. It is $1,500, I believe, if you want to get teacher feedback, and it is roughly $1,000 if you just want to take the course. It's 35 to 40 hour UI design course. It's very heavy. I am taking this course myself, and it has been one of the best investments I did in my design career. I believe if you have the money, you should actually buy this course. It will pay off for the long term. Problem is, it only opens twice in a year. It opens either, I believe, on the summer or in the winter. So make sure that you actually get the course when you can. Now, in terms of channel, my recommendation for learning UI design is a design course by Gary Simon. It's a very good channel where you have hundreds of videos on how to get better on UI design, and it's updated for 2022 as well. Make sure that you subscribe so you don't miss his videos. To actually become better in your design process, you have to do a lot of projects, and hopefully these projects will be real world projects. But if you are a beginning UI UX designer, it's very hard to get somebody to actually pay you to design something. So my first recommendation for you is to actually go and use the site Sharpen Design. What Sharpen Design does is, if you actually pick the UX design option, it gives you UX design challenges that might generate a few ideas for you in terms of side projects, so you can build on your own, you can interview your friends, and just get better in the design process by making stuff. Now, instead of side projects, you might actually get real world projects as well by going to the site UX Rescue. Now, UX Rescue gives you access to the non-profits in the whole world who actually post some design jobs such as website redesign or application redesign, and you can apply for these, and if you get in, it will give you a very good real world experience on what is it like to work within a team setting, also how to apply the design process. So just make sure you sign up, and I believe if you apply to enough gigs, you might actually get a job with a nonprofit where you can practice your UX design skills. The first book I'm going to recommend so that you can improve your design process is About Face. It's a very heavy book. My arm is getting tired. It's 700 pages roughly, but it is worth the investment because it is written by industry experts who actually led the way to make the UX design popular in terms of an industry. And also it will give you a very good idea of what you have to do at each stage because it is so long, and it will explain why you have to do certain things at each stage. Now, my second book recommendation is a much more funnier one. It is Don't Make Me Think by Steve Krug. It will give you some ideas and make you laugh as you read it through, and it has very good sections on how to do a usability review on a website, but also how to do a usability testing. Make sure you read it. It's a very short book, and it's going to give you a bit of a good idea on how to run usability testings as well. Now, if you want to improve your design process by watching a course, I highly recommend the User Experience Design course by David Travis on Udemy. This is a course I actually took when I first decided to become a UI UX designer, and it is very good for the price it offers. Basically, you go through building your UX design skills where he gives you 5 different projects. The projects are very creative, but also because all the students are doing the same projects, you can compare and contrast your work and gauge your skills. Make sure that you actually go buy this course if you can when it's on sale. It should be 90% off when you can. Now, in terms of YouTube channel, what I like is really Famke's channel on YouTube. She's a senior designer living in Canada, and she has fantastic UX design videos about how to do usability testing or how to handle developer handoff. Make sure you watch our channel and subscribe. It's great, guys. Now, for the third and the hardest skill to master is communication. It is very hard to master this skill in work setting because first of all, it's very hard to define the terminology. Now, what I mean by communication here is that you know how to build relationships with your coworkers and manager. You know how to actually set the scope in terms of design when it comes to actually building projects. You understand what your responsibilities are as a UX designer and actually communicate them effectively when a person is asking you what they should do in terms of design. And you have to be able to talk with stakeholders. What this means is you will have a lot of uncomfortable conversations in your UX design career. And that's where you actually have to improve your level of, let's say, articulating your design process and decisions. Now, the first book I will recommend to you in terms of improving your communication skills is called Crucial Conversations. It is not written for UX designers per se, but it is about having these high intensity conversations, such as how to set expectations with a stakeholder when the stakeholder isn't happy or doesn't like you, or how to talk with somebody who doesn't like you and gain their respect. And it's a very good book in terms of how to improve your communication skills to set boundaries, but also articulate what you do. And I believe it will also help your interpersonal relationships as well. Now, the second book is called Articulating Design Decisions by Tom Greaver. Now, Tom is a very experienced designer, and the book is specifically written for UX designers when they join a project, meaning how to set up meetings with the stakeholders. When is a very good time to show your initial ideas to the tech team or your manager? He answers all these questions with the right answers and with templates, so you actually can take the book and apply it immediately. It's a very good book. You should buy it. Now, the number one hobby I would recommend if you want to improve your communication skills is either improv or theater. I did improv for 2 years in university, and I know we might be still in pandemic, but it's a very good idea if you can join a, let's say, local community and take some parts in plays, or just go for improv. It teaches you so much on how to speak with confidence, how to listen, and also how to articulate your words in a very good manner so you actually persuade someone. Now, for communication skills, I have never taken a course that I actually found good enough, so I am not going to recommend. But if you know a course that is very good for communications that a UX designer might apply, please share in the comments below. Now, thanks so much for watching this video, guys. I really appreciate it. And if you want to learn how to get better in your UX design career and get more opportunities, please feel free to subscribe on that button below so we can stay in touch. I release 2 videos per week on how to become a better UI UX designer, and if you subscribe, you will get a notification from me, so we will stay in touch.